So now we're in qualifying still, but the shipping department, right? So honestly, I as you can see on the notes, I rarely, if I don't have to, I rarely call them in the front end, right? Because again, they're beat up all the time, right? They get blown up, and I don't blame them for not wanting to answer their phone, right? It's hey, it's the same old song and dance, right? It's add me to a carrier list. Uh, Let me quote out some lanes, yada yada yada. So I've never, shoot, probably my third week on the job, I realized, I got to start asking different questions to really, figure out how to pull out some challenges that I knew I could solve. Right. So I'm not going to go through word for word. I'm just going to kind of explain how to approach logistics shipping from a whole different perspective, other than, hey, can I rate some of your lanes, or, you know, the basics. So when I call into shipping, first off, I like to acknowledge the fact that they get blown up a ton, right? And right off the bat, I kind of humanize it, and I'll be like, hey, listen, yes, I'm with a third party logistics company. No, I'm not trying to get on a carrier list or give you some smoke show rates. Kind of laugh about it, but more or less, I was just looking to get a few pieces of information where, I found that I've been able to help, where I've been able to help other similar companies to yours. But again, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to get a couple pieces of information. You got a couple minutes for me where I can ask a couple questions, kind of just humanize it like that, right? And you could even, when you toss, you could even toss in the, I know you get beat up a ton, and that's really where it's like, and laugh about it. And more times than not, they'll laugh, right? So now we're going to ask questions, right? And have access to like the PDF file of all the questions, the main questions I ask and why we ask them. But I'm going to go over some of them on this video. But I like to ask questions first and foremost, right? Again, it goes back into your target customer. What are we looking for, right? So let's just say let's see if they have the volume, right? Let's just say they have to have 5 LTL shipments a week, right? So I'm going to ask those questions and say, hey, listen, when you guys are, I know shipping's up and down, but when you're shipping freight on a daily basis, can you ballpark me what your average, how many average freight shipments you guys are doing a day? And they'll usually go, a lot of times it's, again, you acknowledge that it is shipping and it's up and down, but they'll still give you well, I don't know, it's all over the map. And it's like, yeah, I get that. So that's where I will toss a very large number, like an absurd number. Then I'll toss a very absurd low number. And usually they'll find out in the middle, right? It's like, hey, so you think you do like 50 a week, one a week, one a day, and then kind of like they'll give you that, we'll probably do like, I don't know, 5 a day. Okay, cool. After you ask that, you could break it down. Can you break that down? Is that LTL or FTL? And the same system or same process of, ballpark them if they give you that question, or if they give you that, it's all over, right? Some LTL, some FTL, just depends. You always want to have a number, just stand your ground. So once you get that, we do probably like 90% of it's LTL. Okay, cool. When you guys are, and then I'll go straight, depending on where the vibe is with the conversation, because you want to be quick and with these questions, right? I'll go into the process, right? So when you guys get a PO kicked over to you, when you receive an order or a PO, what's your process like when you have to like quote out and book those shipments? Who do you guys use? And then just kind of just shut up. Okay, cool. And then when they say, hey, we use brokers and we use, carriers direct. I would get a little bit more granular. Okay, cool. When you say you use brokers, I'm assuming like 3PLs and stuff like that. Yeah. Who do you guys use? Is it you guys use like CH Robinson, Echo, Global Trans? I want to name drop some, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's cool if you can. It's good if you can get. They use brokers and carriers direct, but if you can actually get who they use, again, if you should know your competitor and the things you can do outside of your competitor, right? Or just having a general idea of your competitor is a good thing. So I always ask who they use, even with carriers. Who do you guys use? So they give you that, and then okay, cool. So you said you quote out and book out stuff. Do you guys hop on platforms, or are you guys like, do they give you a system? How do you guys book those, or even quote those? Well, we hop on some things manually. Type in to get a quote, then we'll email some. Okay, cool. So just so I'm hearing you correctly, and I'll repeat it back to them, just so I'm hearing you correctly, you guys are going and jumping on some of the platforms, doing it yourself, and then you'll just email a couple. Yeah. Okay. And then is there like a certain number of quotes you have to get per PO? Well, yeah, at least 5. Okay, cool. So you see where I asked that? I asked that because it's like, now I know they're doing a manual process, right? The reason for the question on how they book or how they get quotes. So once they receive that PO, how do they get those quotes and book those shipments? I want to know that, because if they say a manual process, I know I can solve that challenge by just, again, providing them with one platform, so they don't have to do that. Then I'm going to go and then I want to ask, again, I want to repeat it back to them. So again, you want to make sure that this is what's going on. Another thing is LTL, just a sidebar. If it is LTL, now I know they're diluting their buying power, right? Where it comes into LTL is if you're, using 4 different, bigger 3PLs, we all fish from the same pond, you're diluting your buying power, as well as, I see times where people are, using R&L with Blue Grace, R&L sometimes with Global Transit, R&L direct, and it's like you're that is losing you money, you're diluting your buying power. So that's another selling point for when I later on the road, when I go into try to set a meeting with an executive, it's like, hey, I know you guys are diluting your buying power, because that's where I'm going to lead with. But asking questions like that, getting on and off the phone is key to really, again, qualifying an opportunity. This is a qualified opportunity versus knowing that they ship some freight and that's about it. Look at the difference. Yeah, they ship versus, yeah, I know they have a manual process. It's mainly LTL. They're using C.H. Robinson, Global Trans, and Blue Grace, as well as, FedEx Freight and R&L Direct, just quoting out everybody. So they're diluting their buying power. Which one do you think is going to be a lot more value that someone can bring to the table? The person that has the company in their CRM that says they ship freight, versus the rep that has all of the information I just stated. So be very we're not selling the shipping department. We're getting information to qualify these companies to later on book meetings with executives. I'll see you guys on the next one. We're going to head into accounting.